What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel.
We have an awesome video planned for today, something that's been long awaited.
Is the kitchen and dining spaces tour.
So we're gonna do a whole trifecta of our casual dining area, more formal dining area, as well as our kitchen, all in one video.
Yep.
So
we have already done tours of pretty much every room in the house individually, just so you guys could really see like the details of each room.
But we'll eventually do a full house tour.
Exactly. So we'll link everything that we can down below. And if anything item is vintage in the tour today, we'll link similar items, all that good stuff. But anyways, we'll shut up.
Let's do it.
Where you walk in the front door. We've got our formal dining room over there. This is the entry. We have a full entryway tour and living room tour, which is this way. So it's kind of an open concept layout. The living room and kitchen is in the center of the home, and then everything else wraps around it like in a loop, which we're obsessed with. So we have a full living room tour. You guys can check that out. I'll link it below. In the very center, right behind the living room, we've got our kitchen, and then to the left of that is like our casual dining space, which we call our breakfast nook. Either way, I don't know why we've called it that. It was like that way when we bought it. I think the builder called it that, so we just call it the breakfast nook. And then the dining room's that way, and we'll go there after. The paint color.
Something we definitely want to cover. We get so many questions about our paint color.
So many questions. Here is our paint swatch. So this is by PPG. This is the color of our walls in our house. It's called Early Evening.
Early Evening by PPG.
Yes. And then our cabinet color is this one right above, which is called Shark.
It's like an off-white.
Yes. It's like a, well, it's clearly gray.
Yeah.
Looks off-white.
I'd say Early Evening is more of like a grayish color. Definitely like a gray beige color. It looks white in a lot of houses.
Yeah.
For us, we very much can tell that it's not white, and it has changed the way we've decorated this house.
Yes.
And have made us want white walls in any future
so
rooms and future houses that we have. But just to kind of see the colors, you got Early Evening.
Yeah. Sorry.
Which is that one.
Walls.
And then Shark, which is the cabinets.
Yep. So here are the materials of our whole kitchen. Now this house was built already when we moved in, so we didn't pick the materials, but this is a gray kind of chunkier style subway tile. And then the countertops are Carrara marble, I'm pretty positive, or definitely some sort of marble. And these have been really challenging to keep nice and up to date. So I would definitely go with like a quartz or something more heavy duty. We have noticed it just gets a lot of like ring marks and scratches. It's not very durable, so just a warning, but it looks nice. Okay, so here's an overview of the kitchen. It's kind of like a U-shaped layout, except there's no side here because that leads into our casual dining space. But here it is. We have the peaked ceilings. We have a full vaulted living room and kitchen, so it all just goes off of the same ceiling line. But here's kind of the overall layout, and we'll start right here.
All right, first things first, on this countertop, like the front wall of the house, you have this wooden bowl. It's like an antique dough bowl that we have a bunch of our citrus in. And this is one of our most highly asked about items in our whole entire house. This was vintage, but we have found a very similar wooden bowl and link on Amazon that we have linked in some Amazon videos. We'll also include it below as well. For holidays, we'll put like different stuff in, decorate for certain seasons, stuff like that. But in the summer, we just love putting our citrus in this bowl. We keep our Alexa here. We were gonna put it away for this video, but it's like, hey, this is real. We keep the Alexa here most of the time. So
yeah,
figured we'd show you. We do move it around sometimes, but most of the time,
she's right there.
She's right there.
We play music while we're cooking, all that good stuff.
Doing dishes, cleaning up, just a good central location in the house.
Our bar stools are our favorite thing ever. They're from Restoration Hardware, and they are kind of like this woven basket style. And we'll link them below. We showed them in our Restoration Hardware video. We found a couple of dupes for them, but we're just obsessed with them. We love the kind of like natural woven texture. We have a few basket pendants in our house, so we feel like it all kind of ties together. They're a nice light wash, which we like because our floors are dark and we just wanted a little bit of a lighter color to like brighten up the area. We wish our floors were light, but they're not. So we went with lighter furniture to kind of brighten up everything. and it really makes a difference. But highly recommend. We love them. They think that they are worth the money. super like heavy duty and just lovely. So here's our runner, which we get asked about a lot, and it's from Magnolia Home. I will link it below. I think it's still available, and it's just an 8-foot runner, really cute. It's not crazy expensive. Rugs can be so expensive, and this is like reasonable, soft colors, some blues. It's really cute. And then we'll move up to our island decor. So I try to keep the decor in the kitchen pretty minimal. I don't like to have any appliances on the counters for the most part. It just stresses me out. I like the kitchen to be like sleek and really just kind of aesthetic. So I always keep one big centerpiece. This one has been the one I've kept the most consistent. I usually switch it out a lot depending on the season, but I love this one. It's been here for a few months now. So this we found at a vintage store, but you can also get it on Restoration Hardware and online. It will be linked below with just some olive branches inside of it. Those are faux because I have a really hard time finding real olive branches. It's very challenging. So to get the volume, I just did that. And then by the sink, you have this little vintage wooden stool, which is really cute. This little brush and some hand soap. I think this is from Home Goods. And again, it just goes with the aesthetic.
We actually get a lot of questions about this stool. It's something we found at an antique shop. And I believe what you can search in to find something similar is it's a shoe stool. So it's when someone was like sitting in a chair wanting to like put their shoes on or tie their shoes, they put their foot up on something like this. I think I bought it without knowing what I wanted to use it for, and Julia plopped it up here and it works.
Exactly.
So.
I think like because our kitchen is so like gray and almost like sterile in a way, like we use a lot of like wood pieces and like vintage things that are kind of antique-y or old to like warm it up a little bit because it's so brand new. So you have to make sure you're kind of like cozying it up with those elements.
But as you already can kind of tell, we do have a farmhouse style sink, which we really like how deep it is. And I'd say in today's world of decor, you see them quite often now. But one thing we did do was this house came with stainless steel hardware, not only at the sink, but as well as all of the different shelving units and stuff like that. So we replaced this as well as all of the hardware along the shelving and drawers and cabinets.
This little sponge caddy I actually just picked up at Kroger. There's probably one on, or actually did I order this on Amazon? I can't remember, I'll link one. But I always just get the little natural sponges because they're neutral and they don't ruin the aesthetic of all of the neutral colors. So this is very convenient though, or else you have to reach underneath to get the sponge if you don't like to keep it out on the counter, which I don't.
And Julie made a Pop-Tart this morning, so...
Shut up.
No, I'm kidding. This is just from our oatmeal and our espresso shots. Yeah. All right, moving on to the last island decor piece.
Yes, which is this huge candle from Le Labo that Hunter got for our anniversary.
I think I got it for your birthday.
For my birthday. And this is a petrified wood slab, so we always keep like a little candle on here. It's just nice when guests come over, or, you know, once you've cleaned the house, you want it to smell nice and good, we'll just light it.
What's cool about petrified wood is it's actual wood that's been like, it's basically like aged or like been underground, and it turns into like a stone marble look.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you can tell, but it almost looks like a black marble versus wood, but it is actually indeed wood.
I also think it'd be really cute. I'm out on the hunt for like a wooden pedestal. I think that could be cool there. Also, any sort of like pedestal or plate or dish with like some stuff on top is cute for decor, but that's pretty much all we have on the island. I like to keep it pretty simple or it starts to get super busy. Okay, so we've got our microwave and our double ovens here. Nothing much to say about that. Other little decor that I've found not annoying and convenient. The kitchen, again, it's just hard when you use it so much. You want to make sure things are functional. So I do have a lot of cooking, like cookbooks and cooking magazines, which I pick up all the time. So I have them stacked up here with the little, what are these called?
The guac maker.
Yeah, I know it has like a name, a pistol and something, but I mostly just use it for aesthetic. I don't really actually use that. And this little olive tree, which is really cute, and layering a couple of cutting boards, which is all the rage. I feel like that is the easiest thing to do for decor in the kitchen, is just layer a couple of cutting boards, and it instantly looks like organic-y, like a magazine, and super aesthetic. It's really cute. I think I got these at a local store, so I'll find the brand and link them below.
This is just my Casamigos bar set that typically is not allowed on the counter in here, but it's just been a temporary spot for it right now. until we find a place for our bar cart. But one last thing to say about this section here is this is typically our prep station. So this is where Julia makes her dressings. We keep all of her like tools down below this area, as well as our toaster and whatnot. So our toaster is down here. Anytime we want to use the toaster, we just like raise it up, use it, and then put it back underneath just to kind of keep it sleek.
I keep like appliances that I access a lot up here. So toasters here, Vitamix, coffee grinder, and food processor, and then anything that I need for like cooking or dressings, olive oil, vinegars, and spices are right there. So easy, accessible layout depending on how I use the kitchen. Okay, so moving down the counter, we've got our stove. Nothing really fancy here. We've got the paper towels, and then this really fun antique cutting board that we found at an antique store, which a lot of you guys ask about. Where did we get it? Where did we get it? It is an antique piece.
It's an old, like, I think it's Turkish.
It's a Turkish, like, wood board or cutting board. And I found a lot of ones online, actually.
We get asked a lot of questions. It's funny, the questions we get most are about, like, things like cutting boards or dough bowls, stuff that we found vintage. And so this is indeed a vintage piece. We slapped it there, not knowing if it would stay there or not, but we really like the placement of it. And actually, it's funny because now when I cook, I notice that it's kind of like the splash zone. And it prevents stuff from getting on. I kind of like that it lands on that versus like the backsplash.
See, I like get nervous because it's an antique piece. I don't want like all the grease to get on it. But some people are like, oh, have you put that there as a splash guard? I'm like, definitely not. It's just like a beautiful decor piece. We don't want it to get ruined by grease, but sometimes.
But it turned out to be like a...
It weathers it.
It kind of like keeps it like more natural looking, and I don't know. I think it's kind of a cool idea to have something like that as your splash guard for your backsplash.
Yeah. And also, I was gonna, I know Hunter mentioned all the hardware that we switched out because it came with sterling.
It was like stainless steel.
Stainless steel. So I have the exact knobs. I can link them. We got all of this online. The faucet, the knobs. I'll link all of that.
Most hardware that we use, whether it's for projects that I'm working on, like office renovations or just things in the backyard or in Julia's office or obviously the kitchen, a lot of the hardware we get is from a site called build.com. And I think it's a great site. They have like lighting. Actually, our lighting on the front of our house is from build.com.
Yeah.
So we've got lighting fixtures. We've got tons of hardware from there.
They have all, like every color you can imagine. Okay, lastly is just this little guy right here. Just another bowl. I keep like onions and potatoes, and really that's it. But I try to use like the citrus and the produce that can be left out kind of as decor in the kitchen.
So Julia separates the veggies from the fruits just because of the aesthetic and the colors and the palette and all that kind of stuff. But really, it's good to separate the veggies from the fruits because the veggies will oxidize the fruits and makes the fruit ripen faster and almost go bad quicker. And so it's good, just a side tip, separate your fruits and veggies, keep them in different bowls. We do it naturally because of the aesthetic, but yeah.
Well, and I just kind of do it depending on how they do in the grocery store. So usually like all the onions and potatoes are near each other, and same with the fruit. So just kind of put them in the groups.
Okay, take what Julia said.
Okay, so when you come to the left is our breakfast nook, which you guys probably see all the time in the vlogs. This is where we are always eating most of our food. This is where we pretty much do everything. We work from this table a lot and spend so much time in here. So we'll start with the rug. This is one of my favorite rug finds ever. It is, I think, maybe $100. I don't even think, yeah, I think it's $100. And it's super neutral, very affordable, and one of my favorite finds ever. So many of you guys have purchased this rug, but it's just great because you can use it in so many different spaces. And for an affordable one, I feel like it's nice to have that in an eating area where you drop a lot of food. It's also right next to our porch door, so Noah comes in and out a lot with muddy paws, and it's not like this beautiful vintage rug. So it looks pretty nice though, and I really like the pattern. Beige and white, which is perfect.
This table is actually one from Restoration Hardware. We found it on Craigslist. Someone had bought it from the Restoration Hardware outlet. It came with a couple of chips in it, so anytime there's chips or the color's fading, we just touch it up with like some black spray paint or black paint, just kind of clean it up and keep it as new as possible. And
this is a 60-inch table because some of you guys have asked, so this is the 60-inch. I think traditionally most are 48, like, which is a little bit smaller. So it works for us. Yeah. Chairs actually are Restoration Hardware, but I've found literally the identical chair dupe at World Market, so I'll link those below. And we like the cloth. I don't know, it just makes it cozy, it feels modern. So you'll see a theme. We love kind of incorporating this basket type woven material throughout different areas, kind of like on the bar stools. And we love basket pendants so much. So this one is actually from Bali. We like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to yawn. I don't want to be loud.
You're such a weirdo. This one is actually from Bali, but we got it through a store in San Francisco, and we love it. It just really gives, like, we want the house to feel like you're on vacation or like you're in like a villa. So we feel like it really does that. And yeah, it's very special. And there's so many cute basket pendants online that I've found. So I'll link a lot of options below. I haven't found this exact one on there, but you can get the same vibe. This art is such a struggle. I like really neutral art, so does Hunter, and it's very challenging to find, but Home Goods is one of my favorite places for affordable art. And this piece I looked for the longest time, and I finally stumbled across it one day. I had to get it. So it's from Home Goods. It's really simple and basic, very neutral, but it's a nice scale for this room, and that's it. Just like the one and done. Nice and minimal. You don't want to like go too overboard, or we don't really like that style. Like, keep the decor kind of simple.
But we will say this room, of all the rooms in our house, has been the hardest for us to decorate. Yeah. We change it up quite a bit, and we're always looking to add something to it. So whether it's like sconces on either side or like a piece underneath, but it's just been a really hard room for us in terms of getting it the exact way we want it.
How it's styled right now is definitely the best I think it's looked, and I really like this room now when I look over it. Just literally removing a few things and changing it can really change the whole thing. So I restyled it a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, it's so much better. So speaking of, I just changed out the center decor here, and we've got a couple really cute things, some terracotta beads, which I think really give us like villa vibe. Which also goes with this tequila bottle. This is Hunter's favorite tequila. What's it called again?
Clase Azul.
Clase Azul. And the bottle is really pretty. These vases are from Home Goods, nice and neutral. And this is our favorite book in the whole world, which I've talked about a ton. It's it's called From the Land. I'll link it to Amazon. It is our favorite architect, Howard Backen. He's amazing. And then just this vase.
So these precious olive branches were something I brought home as a full plant that I was going to plant in the yard, and Julia was drooling and couldn't help herself and snipped a couple pieces off the plant. They're going to die now probably. Well, although she has them in the water, they will. We'll see. They will wilt and shrivel and die.
I just can't find, like, I like the real olive branch look. It looks so much better. It's just, they're very challenging to find.
All right, nothing too exciting, but just wanted to point out that we do, like our refrigerator here, we have an all fridge. So it's only a refrigerator, there's no freezer attached to it. It's from FRIGIDAIRE. We got it at Nebraska Furniture Mart. We'll link the exact one down below.
We always get questions about this though, because people are like, do you guys have a freezer? We do have a freezer. We just eat mostly fresh food, and we kind of wanted that wide look, especially in this scale of like the ceiling in this room is so big. We felt like a traditional fridge freezer combo would have looked weird.
Yeah, with the slot that was cut out, it was like a fairly small slot, and so we thought the all fridge would make it a little bit more sleek. Yeah. And then we have a small little freezer in the garage that we don't really use a freezer anyways a ton, except for ice, some frozen berries for smoothies, and then like a pint of ice cream or something like that. Yeah. For
dairy free. Just kidding. It is actually.
People do ask us a lot. There is a freezer that you can buy with it, the same exact size. That would be like the side-by-side, that you would have the fridge on one side and the freezer on the other. Obviously, we don't have a slot big enough here for it, but in a renovation home or any home that we have moving forward, this is definitely like the route we want to go, but have it paneled to match the cabinets and stuff like that. Yeah, you're supposed to have it where it opens to your kitchen, but at the same time, it's never been a problem.
It makes sense, but I've never actually really thought about that.
Yeah. It's like having the dryer door open the opposite way from the washer.
I get it.
But yeah, we just haven't got around to switching it, and it would make our life maybe a little easier.
Yeah, but it would.
Not that big of a deal.
So now when you walk through the kitchen is where you come to the, I think it's technically called like a butler's pantry. We use it as our coffee bar. You guys probably see this all the time in our vlogs. We're here like every morning of every vlog. But this is where we make all of our coffees. We've got all of our coffee mugs up here, to-go coffee mugs, and it's nice just to have like a full station. So we have an espresso machine. which is our baby, and we're obsessed with it. It's by Breville. We'll link the model below. And then we just keep our like vanilla syrup, which we use sometimes, in this little jar of coffee beans out here on this tray. And again, try and keep it kind of clean because it gets really messy. We also have like a traditional coffee maker, which we keep in our pantry. We sometimes use it, not all the time. And this is our pantry. It's not very organized right now, but here it is. We keep appliances in here, alcohol.
We keep our citrus juicer. We have like a kettle, an old espresso maker, all kinds of stuff.
Exactly. And then like our broom and our Dyson and stuff is all in there, but it's not cute, sorry.
But yeah, because we only drink our regular coffee maybe like once or twice a week, we leave it in the pantry and whip it out when we want to use it. Yeah. As well as like the citrus juicer or the cold foam maker or anything like that, the frother.
Yeah. Just like to keep everything off the counter. It just looks so much nicer and less cluttery. It just stresses me out when everything is on the counters.
If she could hide that easily, she would.
Totally. This room has been a catch-all for so long. We've finally gotten it like nice and cleaned up and decorated and styled. And it's one of my favorite rooms in the house now, I think. This table, I'm gonna let Hunter talk about because this is his probably #1 find, vintage find in his whole career of decorating.
Yeah, it's all still apparently giving me credit for, but this is an old Bali table that someone shipped to California from Bali, and within the first like couple months of having it, she knew it didn't fit. So I found it on Craigslist and jumped on it. Yeah. It's this table. It came with this bench with no back, just a simple bench, as well as that bench over there that does have the back that we use in the entryway. Yep. So this all came together. As a set. I've since sanded this piece down so you can kind of see the color. And we're actually planning on switching this out in the entryway and bringing that one in to match the table. Yeah, we're going to play around with it. But it has this really cool detailing below. It's very Bali-esque and it's just really pretty. I think it's actually like an outdoor table, but we use it inside. Yeah, it's made out of teak wood. So it's very like hard. Like really heavy. But really good quality. We love it. It's like we had it outdoor in California when we lived out there. And now it's the perfect indoor dining table. But we can move back out when we move again. Exactly. I feel like this is a piece we will keep in our collection forever. Yeah. We'll never get rid of it. And it goes with like the white chairs that we've got from Restoration Hardware. It goes with honestly any chair we've ever had in here. It does. I know. Very like anything neutral really. But we were sanding it down to see if we liked the color. I actually prefer the warmer color, but we never got to the sanding of the table. So at some point we'll do that. I feel like the warmer color will go well when it's like a white one in a white room. Yeah, totally. They both will honestly. Yeah. I'm excited to see this as the entryway piece and then that bench as the piece in here. Totally. So yeah, we just did like a combo. We removed one of the benches, put some white chairs. These are also from RH, but we have a ton of dupes linked on them. And the combination of one side bench, one side chairs, to us, it gives like a little modern farmhouse feel. Pretty common. Yeah. It's a lot, but it's kind of cool to execute it in your own way. Totally. And that light fixture is from the same place that we got the light fixture from the breakfast nook. Also from Bali. Yep, and they do not ship nationwide. You have to, if you buy it, you got to buy it, and then you have to figure out how to ship it. Yeah, so funny story. We had to build I built a crate out of wood to put both this and that other piece in. I think it cost just as much as the pieces to ship because it was so heavy. It did, but it was so worth it. I feel like they're our favorite pieces in the house, so. One last thing to note about baskets, when you buy a basket, a lot of times it doesn't come with the actual light bulb or light fixture attached to it. They come by themselves. So just know that if you're ever buying a basket, you gotta buy the basket most of the time and buy a light fixture and wiring system, chain, all that good stuff to figure out how you're gonna put it up in the ceiling. Exactly, that was quite a task to figure out. That bulb I think we got from IKEA or something like that. Yeah. A cheap bulb. Yeah. It's like that one singular bulb versus like multiple. In terms of the decor in here, again, nice and minimal. When it starts to get too busy, I just like don't like it. So I think that's just tends to be our style. This sideboard is from Restoration Hardware. This was definitely an investment piece for us, and we know that we can take this to any house. It'll always work in some sort of space, but we like the black in here because we're trying to always mix kind of the colors together. We like wood, woven materials, black, warm woods, whites. We just try to mix it as much as we can. Oh, I forgot to talk about this rug. This rug is one of my favorite rugs. It is super affordable, neutral. It kind of is a Restoration Hardware dupe.
woolly go below. It's really cute and great for any area. We used to have it in our living room. These little sculptural guys, I think, are from Kroger. We've got another one of our favorite coffee table books here. A little driftwood piece, which kind of ties in the coastal element in here. And then these planters are from Target. I found some really pretty ones on Pottery Barn too that give the same vibe. These are actually outdoor planters, but I like doing them in here. It kind of gives like the indoor outdoor vibe without being outside, which is kind of cool. These are olive plants. They're real from Home Depot that Hunter got. And then lastly are these little art pieces that are from Home Goods. They're like shadow boxes. I think they're way too small for this wall, so we are going to do some DIY artwork soon. We keep saying we're gonna do it. We have
all the pieces here ready to go.
Yes, we have these big canvases and we're gonna do like a DIY art and put them on that wall because clearly those are so dinky for that wall.
We'll probably put like some kind of mirror or something over there at some point to kind of finish off that wall, but still keep it as minimal as possible.
Yeah.
But there's no rush when decorating. I mean, every room takes time to complete. We give that advice to all of our friends, like take your time. You're gonna change it. No matter how fast you get it done, you're still gonna wanna change it anyways. So take your time and make it the way you desire. It's no rush, just do it your way.
Yeah, totally. Little candle that we have, I think this is from Nordstrom. I just love the pattern of it. So I tend to not really keep anything on the center of that because it just starts to get too busy, so.
Up until the past month, been a catch-all room. And so as you can see over here, still like a lot of the antique pieces that I buy, I bring into here as like a catch-all. So this is like an antique fountain that we're gonna reuse for a planter at some point. An antique sled. Don't know where the hell that's gonna go. As well as this antique saddle that we've showed in some other videos before. It's an old camel saddle that you would use to ride a camel with. Very Moroccan or Bali style design with the nails. Really cool piece that I'll use at some point, whether it's in my office. Would be kind of cool as like a piece on the wall or on a shelf. Some built-ins if they're thick enough. We'll see.
Totally. If you're into decor, you guys know like Hunter and I actually, you just like collect items. Some pieces are so special that you like treasure find that you want to keep them and you'll find the perfect spot for them later on. But
we'll find stuff if we're traveling in the US, whether it's like in Florida or California or New York, and we'll jump on it and ship it. Or sometimes we'll find pieces in Europe that we want to buy or find a dupe for back in the US. Like get inspired when you travel, find pieces. And don't be afraid to jump on them because at some point you will use them.
I know, even if you have to store them in your garage, which we have a lot of furniture in there that we are just holding on to. That we want to use. So.
Some pieces are hard to let go.
They are. Okay, that's gonna wrap up the tour for today.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I know it was kind of sporadic and all over the place, but wanted to make sure we covered all 3 of those rooms in this one video.
Yeah, you guys can follow along our vlogs for more. We're always home decor shopping, decorating, doing all sorts of stuff there if you're super into decor.
So if you want to keep up, follow along.
All right, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.